It's preview week for the Blood Angels, and they're getting some Death Company Intercessors with jump packs. Imperium magazine, Imperium magazine, Imperium magazine. Printer go bird. Okay guys, so I've just opened one packet. I already have 5 Death Company Intercessors that I done maybe 2 years ago now. Out of a pack like this, I had 2 of the Indomitus box sets, the Marine half, and then one of the guys took the 2 Necron half, so I had all of the Marines from that. I had all of the Marines from this as well, so I had a lot of Marines. I don't need 15 Death Company Intercessors because I don't have any jump pack Intercessors, so we're going to go with 5 of these guys as Death Company just to start, and then I have another 8 because one of the magazines had 3 Assault Intercessors in it. I'm sure I can just convert up 2 normal ones then as well to get 10 man standard assault jump infantry. So I have printed off some jump packs that are kind of similar to the Primaris ones. I printed off Sanguinary Guard bits that I had with the kind of upgrade parts from the last project that I done. I got some heads, shoulder pads, I have a couple of Thunder Hammers, and then I have some Assault Marine bits in this bag as well. So I'm just going to crack this open. I'm going to stick the main bits of the guys together and then we'll see where we go from there. I have the shoulder pads and stuff for this, but the problem is with these ones, it's attached, so if I do want to take them off, there's going to be a bit of work in it. Realistically, I could just paint the red X on like I did with the Dreadnought, might be the easiest option, and then I'll see if I have some normal Intercessor somewhere that don't have the shoulder pads on them. A lot of this stuff is the easy to build stuff in the magazine, so I don't really have the option unless I go and start shaving off shoulder pads, and I don't particularly want to do that because it's just more work in it than there would be in painting a couple of red X's. So I'm going to go and get started building these guys, and then we'll take out the jump packs and some of the close combat weapons, see if we can spice them up a bit. Okay guys, so 57 minutes 13 seconds and we have some built Death Company Intercessors. We have one with a power fist and a plasma pistol, one with a Angelus bolt gun and Incarmine axe, so obviously it will just be used as a power weapon, and a bolt pistol, Thunder Hammer and Chainsword, because the Chainsword is on his waist, so I thought it'd still look cool. Chainsword and plasma pistol, and then a power weapon, so an axe and an Inferno pistol. So I'm going to go get the airbrush cleaned out and ready to go, and we'll come back and start priming. Okay guys, I have the compressor set up with 20 psi. Airbrush has some matte black army painter primer in it. Give it a test. Good. Just make sure the needle's clean, no dry tip. And I'm just going to start base coating all this in black because they're going to be Death Company, they're going to have black armour, so I'm going to paint it the same way I painted the Brutalis Dreadnought. Okay, coming in now with some Dark Reaper mixed into the pot. I'm going to spray this on as a highlight. Same again, 20 psi. I'm just going to work back and forth across the top of the model to start. Okay, so coming back in now, the Dark Reaper matte black mix has dried as a highlight, and I stuck a Mark III shoulder pad on this guy instead of a Death Company one. Nice. I'm just now realising that as I go to paint it. Whatever, I'll deal with it. I only had loads of Death Company ones printed for this purpose, but sure. So starting off with the silver areas, I'm going to go in with plate mail silver and just start highlighting them up. So the teeth on the chainsword, I suppose the engine mount for whatever kind of contraption of an engine that chainswords have. The belts on all of my Primaris Intercessors get done silver. These kind of gyro things, I'm going to paint them silver as well. Just to break up the armour a little bit. The hilt on the, or the handle shaft on the Thunder Hammer, I'm going to paint in like purple or maroon or something. So for here, we're going to just do this piece. And edges of the helmet, I might change my brush before I do that bit. Jump pack, power pack, whatever you want to call it. Power plant, I think is the word I needed. So, silver on here, silver on the exhaust vents down the side. Some of them did suffer slight damage when I was clipping off the supports of the 3D print. Paint some silver onto the actual jump jets themselves. And same with these smaller ones. Looks like he's got a grenade on his back belt here. And that's probably going to do it for silver. I am going to come back in with a more detailed brush, just to paint inside of the helmet. I think that'll probably do us then, to be honest, for the silver. And I'll go ahead and paint the other 5 guys up as well, and we'll come back once that's done. Okay, so coming back in now that the silvers are all done, this is how we're looking. There we go. So a lot of them have holsters or pouches on their belt. These come as part of the sculpt. I probably could have removed them if I wanted to, but I don't mind the extra bits and bobs. I'm going to start off by base coating them in Rhinox hide. So any pouches, holsters, I don't think I've seen too many purity seals, so that shouldn't be a problem. Not that we'd be painting them with this anyway, but I'm going to go through and get all the pouches done on the 5 Death Company Intercessors, and then we can come back and move on to the next colour. So we'll see you in a sec. Okay, with the Morphi or the Rhinox side done on the pouches, I'm going to come in now with some Retributor armour and just start filling in the gold details. Going in to start with the chest Aquila. I'm just holding my breath as I'm doing this, which makes it very hard to record a video. Now there's these kind of spiked ridges across the heads, I'm also going to do them. We have a little skull here, so this is the spiked ridge I was talking about. It's almost like an iron halo, but for some reason I imagine the Death Company did not in fact get an iron halo. The bottom of the holster has a band on it, so I'm going to paint that gold. And that should do it for the gold on this guy. I am going to go on now and do it on the rest of the squad as well. So any chest Aquilas, any kind of key details on the weapons. Okay, so here's a chalice on a shoulder pad, I'm going to do that gold. Anything like that there, I'm going to go and get done, and then we'll come back once the gold is done. Okay, so coming back in now that the gold has been done, I'm going to start doing some red on weapon casings and the X's, just to denote the Death Company. So thankfully some aspects of the models have raised edges for these, some of them don't, and I'm going to have to paint them in. So I'm going to go through all the shoulder pads. One or two of them actually have purity seals on their legs. I'm going to base coat the purity seal wax part with scarlet red, which is what I'm using now, if I haven't mentioned that already. And any weapon casings are going to be done in the scarlet red as well. Now the likes of the blood drop there, I'm debating doing that in purple just to make it stand out that bit more, but I think we'll just go with the standard old red. Okay, so now that the gold is done, I'm going to come in with some scarlet red and I'm going to just start base coating any aspects of the model that would denote it as a Death Company Marine. So any areas where we have the raised iconography for the red X, like that. Any gun casings are going to be done in this red as well, and this will also be the base coat for purity seals. Some of the guys have purity seals on their legs. And any of the blood drops, so there's a blood drop in here, get that on. We have a blood drop in here, so just like that there. I will go through and do the other 5 guys, and once complete then we'll come back and have a look. Okay, so the red is now all done. I'm going to come in with some Army Painter Weapon Bronze and just hit the barrel on the Inferno pistol and some of the power packs on the Incarmine axes, power axes, whatever you want to call them, just to break it up a little bit more and add some variation with the metals. So power pack is on the back of the axe here. I'm just going to paint that weapon bronze. Now there's some on the Thunder Hammer, there's another axe, and I think that's it then that we need to worry about for the weapon bronze. So I'm going to shoot on and get the rest of them done, and then we'll come back for the next part. Okay, with the weapon bronze now done, I'm going to come in with some Vallejo pale grey blue, and we're just going to use this to base any of the winged kind of angelic parts. This is going to be the base coat to build up to the white. So back of the hammer, back of the axes, any winged iconography on the models is now going to be painted with the pale grey blue. So that's that bit done, and I think this is the only guy that has some on his shoulder pads because I glued on the wrong one with Gorilla Glue, so I am most likely not getting this off. But I'm going to go ahead now and go over the other models and we'll come back for the next colour after that. Okay, with the pale grey blue now done, I'm coming in with Screamer Pink, and this is just going to be used to paint all of the weapon handles to give it a nice kind of royal grip looking texture. The Thunder Hammer, the double-handed axe, the chainsword, and then the chainsword on the sergeant's hip are all going to require this colour to be painted on. What I normally do is paint this on, give it a brown wash just to leave a bit of tone in the recesses, and then come in with a mix of Screamer Pink and Pink Horror as a highlight then. So I'll go and get the rest of the guys done up and we'll come back and have a look. Coming in now with some matte black after finishing up the Screamer Pink weapon hilts. This is going to be done in all the soft tissue armour joints, back of the knee, elbows, shoulders, any areas like that where we have this ribbed kind of material. I'm just going to paint that in, so normally around the hip, front of the hip. I'm going to paint the vents in the front of the jump pack with the matte black as well. And just to make sure we have a nice thin coat on any of the black weapon casings, like the chainsword here, I'm just going to paint that black. Actually, I think it'd probably stand out more if I went in with red, so I'll go back in and touch that up with red in a minute. But I am going to go ahead and paint the rest of the soft armour tissue pieces, and we'll come back and have a look. Okay, so with the weapon hilts now done and Screamer Pink, we're coming in with matte black for any of the soft tissue armour joints, back of the knee, around the hip, any elbow joints, creases, just to re-cement them as a different material to the rest of the armour. Don't want it all blending together too much. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the guys, and the only thing I think we have left then is like 2 purity seals before we can start washing and highlighting. Okay, and the final step before we start washing and highlighting is using some morphine brown to base coat the purity seals. So this guy has one on his leg, and there's one other guy. There we go. Now I'm also going to use morphine brown and mix it in with a bit of the Rhinox hide, and that's going to be my first highlight colour for the leather pouches. So these guys are only going to be tabletop. I'm not worried about trying to enter them into Golden Demon or anything, so I'm just going to do some quick little scratchy highlights along the edges, just like this, which will bring up a nice little bit of colour for it. Give it an edge highlight, scratch it along. Okay, so I'm going in now to paint the satchels and holsters using a mix of morphine brown and Rhinox hide. Just kind of edge highlighting and drawing some scratchy marks along the leather just to make it look like it's worn a little bit. Not planning on winning Golden Demon with this stuff, but I just want it to look like it's not just a flat piece of plastic. And once I have all of these guys done, we can come back and look at applying some washes. So we'll see you in a sec. Okay, coming back in now with Army Painter Strong Tone ink. I'm just going to water it down a tiny bit, and any of the gold or bronze I'm now going to paint with the Army Painter Strong Tone, just to give it a nice shade. I'm going to do the weapon hilts as well, because I just want that darker tone in the recesses, and we can highlight up then. Once this is done on all 5 guys, I'm going to do the same thing with dark tone to do the silver metallic areas. So we will see you back in a minute. With the Army Painter Strong Tone down, I'm coming in with Army Painter Dark Tone now for all of the silver metallic areas. So these leg gyros, make sure you get the underside of them and the ones on the inside when you're doing this. Belt, rear grenade, jets from the power pack, the actual power plant itself, the underside of the smaller jets, any other silver weapon components, so the engine mount here, the chainsaw teeth, or chainsaw teeth I should say, rest of the belt. Okay, so with the Army Painter Strong Tone done, I'm now coming in with Dark Tone and I'm going to paint this onto all of the silver metallic sections. So the leg gyros, any silver components on the weapons. I'm going to get this black wash because we can just highlight it up then afterwards and it'll give it a nice metallic look. Any silver components on the combat weapons as well. Sides of the helmet, belt, inside of the leg gyros, make sure you get all aspects of them. Any of the vents on the jump pack, power plant, anything that we've painted silver here. And now I'm going to go ahead and do it on the other 5 guys and we'll come back once that's all dry and start doing some highlights. Okay, while the dark tone wash is now drying, I'm going to come in with some Mephiston red and just start highlighting up all of the red areas, including purity seals. I'll sort of build these up towards a waxy kind of orangey colour. All of the Death Company iconography, almost said Death Guard there, that would have been pure heresy. I'm just dragging this towards the middle point of the shoulder pad. The blood drop is just going to get a little bit of a highlight. You can come back in later and tidy that up because I'm going to have to highlight the gold anyway. Going in then onto his face and trying not to put my finger in the wet red paint. Just highlighting up this face X. He also has a blood drop on his cheek. Onto the other shoulder pad, I'm going to highlight this one away from the center of the shoulder pad and literally just the tiniest little bit on the underside, and then the blood drops again. And weapon casing, I'm just going to layer that up because we'll come in with some brighter colours in a while just to give this an edge highlight and frame it off nicely. So I'm going to do the other couple of guys and we will come back then. Okay, well the wash is still drying and the red has been highlighted. I'm coming in now with some Steel Legion drab to start highlighting up the purity seals. So there's one on this guy's leg and one on this guy's leg. I'm just going to go straight in with some Ushabti balm then. Mix that straight into the Steel Legion drab just to finish off the highlight of the purity seals. And now I'm going to go and get myself some Troll Slayer Orange. Because there's only 2 purity seals, I might as well get these guys wiped out of the way now. So going in with some Troll Slayer Orange mixed in with a little bit of Mephiston Red just to darken it down. I'm going to put a spot in the middle of the purity seal and then just draw the circle around it to make it look like it's waxy. And that's the purity seals done. So I'm going to go and get some Dark Reaper on the palette and we're going to start highlighting up some of the armour. It's going to be long. Okay, so I have watered down some Dark Reaper onto the palette, and this is just going to be the edge highlight for the black armour. So running it along the edge, drawing as straight a line as I can around any of the other panels. Down the leg, across the toe guard. Okay, I'll show you up here on the shoulder pad. So when I'm doing this here, I try and use the edge of the brush as much as I can to try and avoid me having to try and freehand straight lines. And then if I do, I brace against the model, try and hold my breath as much as possible and just slowly drag the brush along to try and get one clean line. So yeah, nice and easy here, edge of the jump pack, just draw the paintbrush up and across, and that's how easy that bit is. Draw it down along the fins. So you get the idea. There's a bit of work involved in doing this. I am going to go ahead now and try and get the rest of them done in a pretty quick turnaround so that we can come back and start looking at highlighting the metallics. And we will see you when I spent a lot of time edge highlighting Space Marines. So we'll see you in a second. Okay, so coming back in after edge highlighting all the black armour, I have Mephiston red mixed with a little bit of Wild Rider red, and I'm just going to use this to edge highlight up the red armour sections and weapon cases. Okay, so with the armour edge highlighted, I'm now going to come in and start edge highlighting up all of the red armour sections and weapon casings with a mix of Mephiston red and Wild Rider red. So this is literally just a spot highlight for the red crosses and stuff. So when we're looking at it here, I'm just going to put a little bit onto the two higher points just to draw it in. Same on the head, the main highlighted spots moving towards the centre of the helmet, and then over here as well. I will go ahead now and get this done on everyone else, and we'll come back and have a look. Okay, with the red highlighted, I'm going to come in with some plate mail metal, and I'm just going to start highlighting up some of the metallic areas, leaving the majority of the black wash in the recesses. So belt, grenades, any silver sections on the weapons. Side of the head, the backpack. So I just want to make sure this doesn't look streaky. Same here, just a couple of edge highlights. Don't forget the gyros on the legs, bringing the highlight upwards. And that should do it for the silver, so I'm going to do the rest of the guys, and then I'm going to come back with some Retributor armour, and we're going to highlight up the gold. Okay, with the silver now highlighted, I'm coming back in with Retributor armour, and I'm just going to highlight up the gold areas. So any iconography, any weapon aspects that are gold. You just have to be careful now here because I've painted around the gold on this with the red. can touch it up in a few minutes. I'm going to come back in and do the blood drops last. It'll just be the same as the rest of the red that we painted. The only difference will be a white dot just to make it stand out a little bit more. And again, I am going to go through now and do all of this highlighting onto the other members of the squad. And we'll be back in a minute once it's all done. Okay, with the gold now highlighted, I've mixed some pink horror in with Screamer Pink, and we're just going to start highlighting up any of the weapon handles or grips or hilts that we painted and washed in the last couple of steps. So like the design on this one here, just coming in like this. And this will help to bring the groove on the handle up nicely so it stands out nice. Now I'm going to try and do it on this side as well, and then once that's done I'm going to go ahead and do it on the rest of the squad. And once that's done, then same as usual, we will come back and do the final step, which I think is just the white and white on the wings, and then maybe just touch up the blood drops that are on the shoulder pads or weapons. So we'll see you in a minute for some blood drops. Okay, with the weapon hilts now highlighted, I'm just going to come in with some Straighten the Fist in red onto all the blood drops again, because some of them have been painted over or got little bits of spillover paint on them, and I just want them to stand out. And so I'm coming in with just Straighten the Fist in red, and I'm going to paint this onto any weapons that have blood drops, any shoulder pad blood drops, weapons, anything at all that has the blood drop symbol on it is going to get my fist in red. And then I'm going to come in with a little bit of Wild Rider red as a highlight, followed by a dot of white just to make it shine. Okay guys, so coming in now with some Vallejo Pure White, and this is going to be used to highlight up the angel's wings aspects of the weapons. So just trying to paint on each individual feather, and I'm going to have to do this on the plasma pistol, the inferno pistol, I have the other axe and the thunder hammer. So that's pretty much what we're doing there. Onto the side of the inferno pistol, I'm just going to drag it towards the edges of the feathers, like so. Trying not to get any white onto the black armour, because that could be problematic. And same over this side, paint on the frame, and then feather it out, all puns intended. So I'll go and do the rest of this stuff, and then we'll come back and have a look. Because I think the only other thing I need to do, actually I might as well do it with my hair, is just a spot of white onto the bottom of the blood drop there, just to give it a reflective nature. Do the same here. Okay, I might need a smaller brush to do it on them small ones, but the likes of any other shoulder pad, all I'm literally going to be doing is putting a tiny little dot just like that there to give it some reflection, and we'll come back in a minute. Okay, I've gone in now and done the white highlights on the angel wing sections. The last thing I want to do is just a quick highlight of Mornfang Brown onto the leather, just as a final highlight before I start airbrushing up the weapons. So any of the holsters or pouches, try not to break your model, I'm just going to draw a scratchy highlight towards the edges or any of the creases. just like that. And again, I'm going to go do this on everyone, and then we can come back when I'm starting the airbrushing. Okay guys, I have royal purple in the airbrush. Compressor is set to 20 psi, and we're just going to blast on a quick little layer of purple. Same onto the other arc. And then finally onto the front of the hammer. Now I'm gonna mix in some Vallejo model colour purple into the royal purple, and then that's going to go on as the first highlight. So I'm just going to mix that up and come back. Okay, here we are with some purple mixed into the royal purple, and same again, we're going back in. Now the next colour that will be added into the mix is going to be Vallejo model colour blue violet. I'm not even going to clean this out, I'm just mixing it straight in. I've mixed the purple straight into the airbrush, and this is just going to be like kind of a spot highlight at the front of the axe, just to get it nice and bright. That should do it there. Do the same on the next one. And then on the thunder hammer as well. Now when that's drying, I'm going to clean out the airbrush because we need to do some OSL on the plasma pistol. Okay, coming in with some imperial blue in the airbrush. Just going to try and spray this straight onto the plasma coils. I'm going to mix in some Caldor Sky, and we're going to come back for the first highlight. Okay, I've mixed some Caldor Sky into the mix, and I'm just going to spray that on now. Final step then is just going to be mixing in some Temple Guard Blue. Okay guys, so here we go, final highlight. I'm just going to spray it straight on. Same on the other side, just to finish them off. And that's it. I'm going to go and get these guys based. Okay guys, so I actually missed a plasma pistol and all of their jump packs, because if you look at the sanguinary guard, I painted. All the jump packs are painted, so we're going back in, same again. Imperial blue, mix of Caldor Sky, mix of Temple Guard blue, and then I'm actually going to put in a little bit of white just to get the final highlight in, and I'm going to do this plasma gun and add a final highlight onto this one because I don't think it is bright enough. So I have the Imperial blue in the airbrush. I'm just going to get started. And we'll come back for the Caldor Sky. Okay guys, going in with the Caldor Sky now. I'm going to mix in some Temple Guard blue straight into this and apply it straight onto the model then. Okay, so I've mixed in some Temple Guard blue into the mix. Just going to spray this on to the jump packs. And the plasma pistol. Okay guys, so I have Temple Guard blue mixed in. I'm going to apply this to the jump packs. And also the plasma pistol, which I forgot about. Okay guys, so the final highlight, I've mixed in some white. I'm going to hit the plasma guns first, just to make them pop. Making sure we get both sides of it. And the backpack, jump pack. And that's it. I'm going to finish these guys off and we'll come back for a spin around. Okay guys, that's the end of the video now. So build time was 57 minutes, total paint time was 4 hours, 9 minutes and 13 seconds. So in 5 minutes, 5 hours, 6 minutes, we have 5 completed Death Company Marines from building through priming into painting, and they are ready for the tabletop for the new 10th edition Blood Angels Codex. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more videos.